Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, beautiful people. Apologies for being a few minutes late. Hope that you are doing well. Welcome. I'm Absa. Welcome to the EFL. Haven't seen you all in a minute. It's good to be back. It's good to see you. Shout out to everybody who is watching. Hit the like button. Yeah, hit that like button. Thank you very much. Shout out to all the members and the subscribers and all of the supporters. Shout out to all of the contributors, folks that toss a little $2 at the docket phone. I appreciate you very much. Could not do it without you. Yeah, it's Saturday morning. It's 9:30 in the morning. I had a semi late evening. So much better than I was at the beginning of the week. Yeah, still recovering. um, but yeah, doing well. We got 55 beautiful people in here and growing. Hit that like button. Yeah, I was hoping to be able to go live with you yesterday, but it did not happen. So my apologies for missing you yesterday. All right. A couple of, I guess, announcements because I forget those. So I was sitting here like, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget. Merch store, all merch available till the end of the month. Wonderful way to support the channel. There are a couple copies of My Ancestors Were Watching Netflix left. There are also some signed copies of Bloodlines and Battle Rhymes and Exhibit A. So those are back in the merch store. And if you buy any of the books, you get some free stickers. So double, win. We all appreciate that. Good to see you in the Netherlands. Good to see you wherever you are. That's one thing that I love to know. Hit the chat. Tell me where you're watching from. This also helps me curate my news feed, by the way. I try and tap into what's going on where you are. Bay Area. Oh, Canada. Alabama. These are all references in my head, okay? This is obviously Alabama is what's that one Denzel movie, Lord Child? I can never remember the name with Gene Hackman. The Alabama, sir. Ah, Virginia, part of my ancestral stomping grounds. Northern California, good to see you. Louisville, metro area. Rhode Island. Sacramento. Nice. Very nice. Vallejo. Are you proud of me? I didn't say Valley Joe. Vallejo. Hey, one of my favorite stomping grounds, DC. Maryland, another one of my faves. Stairs in Virgo is hilarious. I do what I can. Look at us making connections. And as you know, I am coming to you from the great state of Washington, where last night, just give me a brief moment and then we'll move on. Last night, I saw this documentary. Everyone is lying to you for money. It's about crypto. It's one of the best documentaries I've seen in a really, really long time. This was not something that I was planning on going to. I had seen um, some posts about it on social media. So I knew that it existed. And I know who Ben McKenzie is, not from the OC because I never watched that. But Gotham was very big in my house when my son was younger. And that's who called me late yesterday afternoon, said, Mom, Ben McKenzie's here with his documentary. He's doing a Q&A and doing a showing. You want to go? Can I take you? I said, absolutely. Thank you, beautiful. It was exceptional. This is an independently, produced and distributed documentary. So if it comes to your city, go on social media, follow the doc or follow Ben McKenzie. I would say follow Ben McKenzie, who yeah, this is interesting. So let me put some qualifiers on this, okay? Because I'm very aware that just the other day, I went on no less of a 45-minute rant that culminated in me telling you, do not listen to celebrities. Do not listen to these people. You need to do your own research. You need to, et cetera, et cetera. So my qualifier on this is that Ben McKenzie has a pre-existing degree in economics. Okay, this documentary is at least 5 years in the making. He also wrote a book, which I plan on getting and having as a part of my library. Um, I'm not going to, give anything away other than to say that if it comes to you, you need to you need to see this. I had some very definite aha moments. It's also hilarious, but it taught me a lot. If you're lucky enough to have a Q&A, um, our audience was very engaged and multi-generational and had really great questions and thoughts and um, there were some other politicos in the room and we asked some questions as well. Um, so chef's kiss. He's ahead of the curve. He knows what he's talking about. Um, and it was uh, a really fantastic documentary. I'm very critical of documentaries because I'm old. And so I'm kind of a traditionalist when it comes to documentaries. This was it was top tier. It was top tier. It was informative, it was heartwarming, it was touching, it was kind of infuriating. It was also hilarious. It was also hilarious, and as I said, I had some oh moments, and one of the reasons why I wanted to see it and one of the reasons why I wanted to talk with him is because there are a lot of parallels between what's happening with crypto and what's happening with sports gambling in the United States and what's happening with these prediction markets in the United States. So you'll be able to draw a lot of parallels and hopefully have a lot of aha moments. So if you're lucky enough for it to, you know, come to your city or your town, it's worth it. Take a friend, totally enjoyable. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's not just don't listen to celebs, but more don't listen just because they're celebs. If they happen to be celebs but are actually qualified, then it's fine. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later on too, because Uncle Luke is running for Congress. Yes, beloved, the United States Congress. Okay. So we're going to talk about that more in depth in just a minute. It was exceptional, and I could sit here and just do that and just talk about that, but I know that's not what people wanna hear from me, so I'm trying to pick my pockets and slip it in. Shout out to everybody who is watching. Hit the like button, share the live. I do too. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. It's also, but it's pretty great. So fresh and so clean, clean. You're just smiling, just happy. Look at him, just unbothered. Reuniting with teachers and breaking ground on new facilities at his alma mater. We'll get to it. Child, we'll get to it. Radiant smile as usual. So, yes, I know I'm late to the party because, again, it's been a week. I didn't die. Hit the like button. um, Kendrick Lamar, Dr. Dre, Will I Am, and distinguished community guests were at a groundbreaking ceremony at Centennial High School. And that was just nice to see. I don't really, there's what? 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 While everybody else is freaking out, and DJ Squirrel Boy has the nerve to say anything about don't you dare step on Drake's release because that means you're insecure. Boy, if you don't hush your mouth, hush. Boy, hush. I would send you to the children's table, but your past behavior shows that you can't be trusted with the children at the children's table, okay? Okay? We gonna send you to the ISS room for the children left behind. That's what we gonna do. Winner, winner. That's right. Chicken dinner. Thank you for the reminder. We got big goals, okay? Okay, we got big goals. Shout out to all the moms, aunties, grandmas, community aunties, big sisters holding it down, okay? Shout out to me. It's Mother's Day weekend. Yes, it is. Um, we got big goals. We got docket funds that we gotta deal with. So we've got direct contribution goals. We've got a goal in the chat. And given that we will be talking about Rick Ross, baby, you already know I'm ready. Don't play with your girl. Don't do that, okay? All right now. Mhm, mhm. Rich B says they're panicking and trying to set a narrative in case their fears come to life. Wah, ah, ah, ah. Couldn't help it. Couldn't help it. Flashbangs. They want Kenny to be as sick about Aubrey as Aubrey is about him. So bad. So bad. They really do. Kenny coming. Omar coming. Is that Omar? Yes, it is. Omar coming, baby. Yeah, just shining, just happy, just minding his own business. Y'all are the ones who keep putting this man's name in y'all's mouth. How are we in the so-called rollout for your little boy toy, but you keep talking about this man? Isn't that infidelity? Don't that count as infidelity? When you with one man, but you thinking about another all the time? Ain't that infidelity? I mean, unless that's, some kind of kink agreement that you have between each other where you're with him, but you're thinking about the next man. We don't kink shame here. So, you know what? I appreciate this. I really do. I really do appreciate this, but the goal starts at $20. Like I said, we got aggressive goals. I've been out basically all week, so we got aggressive goals. We got a little bit of catching up to do on both ends. But I appreciate you, beloved. Thank you so much. Just cyber stalking. Yeah, we hate Kenny. We hate his stupid smile and his glowing skin. Stupid little outfits. Absurd fashion sense. Angie, the lady, says Drake no longer knows how to exist except in opposition to Kendrick. Meanwhile, Kendrick isn't thinking about him at all. He ain't worried about that man. I wish somebody would scream shame. He ain't worried about that man. He ain't thinking about that man. He really not. That man who's cozying up to pardoned criminals for money for some Italian football club. That guy. Oh, Pulitzer Prize having that. This is hilarious, Tiffany Shante. It's really giving. If I can't have him, nobody can. These boys is silly. So, yeah, we're in the final countdown to Iceman. Episode 4 of whatever it's called comes out the day before the album releases. Ain't it nice? Just chilling, having a good old time, hanging out in the community. Hanging out in his community. I've been saying the whole time it's fascinating to watch these red pill men treat Kendrick the way they normally treat women. Thank you, beautiful. Oh, you're not going to join me on Friday for the live listen? You're not going to join me? Come on now. What up, beautiful? Happy Mother's Day in advance to all the mothers in the chat. Thank you, D2B2. And that's just a bald-faced lie. It is this Friday. Y'all gonna be here with me? Hold my hand? Hold my hand? Hold my hair? Hold my vomit bucket? Come on. With a stopwatch in the corner, we gonna see if I get through a single song. Yes, shout out to the graduates and our very own Alex, aka Ergo Chando, who has been Alex is a mod captain, and we have a private captain's channel in the Discord, and Alex has been going through it this year, school wise, and has persevered. And I am sure that he is not the only one. So, to all of you graduating or just moving on to the next step in the process, congratulations. You deserve it. And damn it, the world needs you right now. So, thank you very much for your service. Yeah. We get to see all of his terrifying science experiments. Yeah, it's great. Congratulations. So, yes, Kenny minding his business, and we are slowly making our way towards the release of Iceman. We still, insofar as I can tell, don't have a real album cover. Drake has been all over Toronto filming at least one music video looking like I just don't know, y'all. I just be like, "What is this? What is this?" Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I have a pre-existing screenshot. I don't have to go searching for too far. I don't see it. I must have been on my phone and not my computer. Anyway, Drake is out and about filming, almost 40 years old, dressed like uh, uh, I don't even know how I would describe it. Well, he's dressed like it's winter. So let's start with that. He's dressed like it's winter, wearing a mattress topper of a coat. And I just think it's ridiculous. We'll get to new music in a bit. Wait, what? He added what? He added the embassy to his Amazon or website or whatever. Oh, is this when he did the AI, the embassy as ICE? Is that what you're talking about? Oh my God. Alex. Alex said he's dressed like some food insulation. God damn it, Alex. Now I gotta get the fucking picture. Jesus. To show the people what you talking about. Oh, what'd I do with it? Where is it? Hold on. There was a lot of stuff in the Drake channel. Oh man, the chat is brutal. Oh, there it is. Okay, hold on. I need to clip this real quick. food. I know, I know. The boots sent me immediately. I was like, moon boots. Immediately, I was like, moon boots, moon boots. Hold on, hold on. Okay, okay, hold on. Let me move the chat real quick so you can see. No, this is not the stupidest he's ever looked clothes wise. Remember the music video where he has the things in his hair and he's got I think it's a LV multicolored thing on? He looked like a freaking clown in that outfit. No. Why does he look like he's a part of a high school boy band? We gotta be fly for the talent show. Hey, 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 hey. I placed in the talent show. Thank you very much. Every year I was in the talent show. I placed in the talent show. Put some respect on the talent show. I I'm, I hate his pantsuit. I hate everything. I hate the goofy ears on the hat. The jacket is hilarious. Probably cost $30,000. Either that or 13. I can't. It's hard to tell. Is this the 13 or the 30,000? The pants are also I can't put my thumb on what it is either, but it's something. And the boots are just hilarious. He's a baddie. Well, he certainly can't film a video in LA. No, you can't tell me what to do. Not a confused marshmallow. He looks like he's creaking when he Angie the lady in May. In May. He's wearing this in May. What is the matter with you? Oh, wow. The game ain't got no power. Give me a break. Yeah, that jacket is not flame retardant. It's not. There's no way that jacket is flame retardant. I don't believe it. No, you couldn't convince me. No kind of way. Here is what the chat came up with as a comparison for the jacket. This is some of the rudest shit I've ever seen in my life. This is just rude. The pattern the pattern is the same. If you old, you know what this feels like. You know what it feels like. Your texture stimming right now. You know what this feels like. You know it feels like this. You know if a fire catches near this shit, your whole house burning down. Dracopedic is crazy. Look at that. Not Captain Cold. This is genius. Captain Cold? Mattress jacket because he knows the album will be a snooze fest. Right, right, right. I mean, it is lined, very poofy, probably very comfortable to take a little nappy nap in. The fact that he's also wearing gloves kills me. It's just like doing the bit. It's like he is releasing a Christmas album next week. I just don't understand. It's so stupid. More also wasted water. If you're wondering what's behind him, it is an entire long bed of stacks of ice. And he's just rolling through the streets of Toronto at night. I'm like, this is the dumbest aesthetic I've ever seen in my life. Ma'am. 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 The coat is from the Certa Spring Collection. Y'all are wicked. Hello, gorgeous. Looking like the couch my granny wouldn't let us sit on. You think there's a stylist? Beloved, did you not see that yellow leather thing that he was wearing from head to toe and them ugly, nasty boots? You think there's a stylist? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? You, also, why does he look like a wax figure of himself? Dressed like the Grinch that stole hip hop. Yes, we are still wasting water. He's Frozone would quite literally never. Yes, he is very committed to the bit. Very committed to the bit. Okay, so this also came up in the chat. I can't stand you. Hold on, let me clip it. This also came up in the Discord. Here's what I love about the fact that you brought this up is I know that you're not the one who brought it up in the Discord, but you are also having that. Don't he look like? Yes, beloved. Yes, beloved, he do look like. I can't believe you said that. That is so funny. Look at me, I'm on fire. I was gonna ask whose face he was wearing. Maybe he's wearing a Drake mask. I'm telling you, this distinctly came up in the chat. This and the mattress and a goofy hat. Who wore it better, guys? Aubrey or Marshall? Poor Tink Tink. He just can't catch a break. But these boots, boy, these boots. Wow. Jesus. This is a moment. This is fair. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. This is all we've been talking about with Drake with regards to this rollout. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And you have no idea how popular these fucking boots were. You have no idea how popular, sought after, people would fight over these boots. The moon boot? The moon boot? You have no idea. It better be the greatest music video of all time. Moon boots. This was a real thing. It was a craze. I don't know. That's a wonderful point. You can't tell where the pants stop and the boots start. I don't have a distinct memory of owning a pair of moon boots. I feel like I definitely would. I probably had knockoffs. I don't think they made it into our household, but I'm pretty sure at least one of my brother's friends definitely got some moon boots. For sure. Definitely. Hell, my brothers could have gotten moon boots. Not a onesie. The disrespect. It does look like it all fades into one thing. The other thing that bothers me is I can't tell what fabric the pants are, but the pants really do, now that you point it out, look like they might be connected to the boots. Well, yes, obviously. Obviously, they are also lifts. talking about moon boots. We're talking about moon boots, mattresses, and Marshall Mathers. This is so true. This is so true. Hold on. I took a couple things out of rotation. So we had an in-depth conversation about the jacket that he is wearing. And a couple people in the Discord felt like, it reminded them of something. When I saw the outfit, the first thing I said was moon boots. These were a craze back in the day when I was a kid. So yes, we've just been examining this. We also looked at, let me pull it back up. We also had a nice comparison of, who wore it better. The chat voted for Marshall Mathers. A few abstained, which I totally understand. But this will forever kill me forever. I will forever think of a freaking mattress when I see this jacket. And then somebody in the chat said, are the boots connected to the pants? And I was saying the pants bother me because I can't figure out what material they are. And then they kind of do look like, or are they slouchy boots that meet the pants like mid calf? Somebody was saying, are the boots connected to the pants like fishing waders? And now I'm just like staring at this side by side picture and I'm wondering, are they connected to the pants or do they have a scrunchy top? Kind of like a moon boot, except for the moon boot was stiffer. And do the pants kind of meet in the upper calf shin area? This is Drake filming a music video in downtown Toronto last week on a flatbed, the long flatbed trucks, with just pallets and pallets and pallets of ice behind him, just rolling through downtown Toronto. Yeah. It's difficult. It's difficult. This will be something obviously we will be paying attention to when the video comes out. Fuck his lyrics and everything else. Dude, what's going on with your pants and your shoes? That's all we wanna know. That's all we wanna know. Why are you wearing little fuzzy gloves that don't fit properly? But anyway. Something being a beard fit him better. Right. So we had a moment of obsession here. What is this? What are we looking at? What's going on? What's going on? He's on the way. See? See? Somebody else knows. Moon boots were the thing back in the day. It had people all kinds of excited. All right. Well, that was a nice little detour. I didn't necessarily expect us to take, but hey, we took it. It's fine. Took it. It's fine. Let's talk about Uncle Luke for Congress. Then we're going to talk about, then we're going to come back to Drake. Okay. You'll have plenty of opportunity because we're going to come back to Drake. something interesting is happening right now with Rick Ross and Drake, and some stuff that was said over during the verses. We're going to talk about that. And then something Rick Ross is posting on social media. So we will come back to, and you will have more opportunity to whack the boy. But this came onto my news feed, and full disclosure, I have sent Mr. Campbell an email requesting an interview with him for Conversations for the Culture, because I want to go into a deep dive on his platform and hopefully have a very frank conversation about what qualifies him to be a member of the United States Congress. You've been warned. Rick Ross has been mentioned. You better hit the like button. I don't know. Should we look at his belly? You want to take a look at his belly? You want to see a bear, or which? You want to look at his belly? Take a looky. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Congressman Luke. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Wow, chat. You don't think Uncle Luke is qualified for the United States Congress? You don't want to hear more about his platform? Because I do. I've got realistic questions. I'd like some realistic answers. Not bless my heart. Bless your heart. No. No. Um. We're talking about. Oh, okay. Thank you. Well. Interesting. Well, unfortunately, my darling, you can't vote for him. You know what? This is the problem right here. I'll take Uncle Luke. He might spice things up. Is that what Congress needs? Congress needs to be spiced up. You know what MAGA thought about the White House in politics? They thought it needed to be spiced up. They don't even eat spice. Now look at us. I don't need Congress to be entertaining. I need Congress to be effective and bipartisan and realistic. And so he should be voted for. Because actually now they've been in the position, so they have established qualifications by doing the job. He's never been in the job. So a better comparison is he's no less qualified than you. Unless you've been in the United States Congress and just hiding it from us this entire time. Unmask yourself. I want my government as bland as possible at this point. Do you think the House of Representatives should be a autocracy? Do you think it should be like just a annual, like, or a couple years they just pull names and you're up? I miss boiled chicken politics. Wow. I actually don't think that this is a bad idea. I am not just unilaterally opposed to countries who have um, a mandatory civic service of some kind. For a lot of people, that winds up, being, or a lot of people think that that's just go into the military and do your 3-year stint and then bounce back out. But it could be so much more than that. And yeah, I'm not opposed to a autocracy at all. I'm so glad that you asked. What are his platforms? What does he stand for? Because this is the only thing that really matters. And as I said, I have sent an email and, asked for him to participate in a 30-minute conversation, probably pre recorded. Um, but nevertheless, I have asked. And the reason why I asked is because I did do a deep dive on his website, which in just the past 24 hours has changed, I noticed, in layout and content and platform details. And one of the things that I said in my interview request to him is, I have detailed questions about the platform as you presented on your website, and I gave an example. So, I'm not saying that that is um, a direct, reason why these changes have come up. I'm sure he's heard it from from several people, and he's clearly working with very savvy politicos as well, to help him with his messaging and platform. So, he has a real and robust campaign. Kiki says, I think more shit would get done if it was regular people who actually know their community. Yes. And so this is his argument. This is part of his argument is that he is representing his community and that he has been doing deep work for many, many years in his community. So I'm going to be doing a lot of reading to you all, okay? And we'll be talking about it, and then we'll move on to the next topic. One of the things I noticed about his website right away is it says things like, I'm not running to be a career politician. I'm running because I've spent my life creating opportunities. South Florida didn't make me a politician. South Florida made me a fighter. Long before I ever considered running for office, I was already doing the work. From mentoring young athletes and helping hundreds of kids earn college opportunities, to building businesses that created jobs, to fighting for free speech, all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States. My life has always been about standing up for my community and opening doors for others. I didn't grow up with privilege. I grew up in Miami, raised by a Bahamian mother and a Jamaican father, in neighborhoods where opportunities didn't come easy. But I learned early that when we come together, invest in our communities, and refuse to accept limitations placed on us, we can change our future. That's the same mindset I'm bringing to Florida's Congressional District 20. Throughout my career, I've created opportunities through Luke Records, mentored young athletes who went on to become NFL players, and helped secure millions of dollars in investments for parks, youth facilities, and community programs across Miami. Those experiences taught me something important. Real leadership is about creating opportunity. My focus for District 20 is clear. Signed, Luther Uncle Luke Campbell. These legacy politicians need to go. They work for their own business, not the business of the people. I couldn't agree with you more. I never thought I would be cheering on Uncle Luke. I think his music was the most disgusting, misogynistic crap I've ever heard. Okay, we'll see about that. There's no such thing as a midlife crisis, only midlife revelations. You're good to go. Congratulations. And he doesn't need to be in Congress for that, now does he? No, he doesn't. So let's take a deep breath and we're going to actually go through the platform and I'm going to Politico because that's my job. Sounds like a swell fellow, doesn't he, though? Exactly. Right, because I've talked to you all about this before about working with politicians or campaigns for something and making sure that we like establish on the back end behind closed doors like a difficult questions list, a difficult Q&A list in supporting our client of like here's some questions you might not be anticipating that you could get. Um, so I'm going to be doing a lot of that. So a lot of people may think that I'm being contrarian for contrarian's sake, but I'm actually just doing what I do, which is what about this? What about that? Right. And so even when he says things like he's mentored young men who went on to play in the NFL, no pun, whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-doo, that you went, are any of them brag worthy as individual people? Have any of them been convicted of a crime as individual people while playing for the NFL? Have any of them been accused of intimate assault, domestic violence? Like, whoop-de-doo. That does not matter. That is irrelevant. This is a celebrity candidate, and he's using celebrity as a part of his platform as if it's relevant, and it is not. And um yes, beloved, I'm perfectly fucking aware of that. I'm perfectly aware of that. Perfectly. I've had dozens of meetings about this very issue of they want entertainment, and that is not what it's for. Yes, because I genuinely wouldn't care if he were running for something within the state of Florida. He's running for Congress. That affects everybody. And he should be stress test because we don't have time to fuck around. We don't have the luxury of that. Yeah, it's not a flex. So, and this picture in the middle is quite the choice given this gentleman's Cash Patel like facial expression. Unfortunate moment. And also, this is not relevant. Okay, we finally got to the first relevant photo. This is a good one. This is just, I am a celebrity. I know famous people, and people are very attracted to that. I'm pretty sure that that's what's his name. Yeah. But these are not qualifications for public office. And celebrity endorsements of other celebrities for public office shouldn't mean anything to you, especially when those celebrities don't give a shit about things like Palestine and they're Palestinian. But that's front and center for you. This is a problematic image for your platform. And he's in here more than once. But if you want to talk about being on a national platform and what it is that people want the Democrats to be doing in the future, having this man front and center on your website like that means something, people will infer what it means to them because all politics is local. So people in Ohio who care about genocide, they will determine what it means to them and what they should infer about the candidate based on him having this person basically front and center on his website. They will make their own inference. And if this was my client, I would tell them, do not put that photo on your website. That's just smoke. You're just inviting smoke. You're inviting people to come up with their own narrative and to side eye you on issues that you will be directly touching when you are elected. So this has changed just literally in the past 24 hours. But this is his policy platform: affordable housing and insurance reform, job creation and port expansion, seniors and veterans assistance, small business loans and federal investment, youth opportunity and technical education, embracing the future, blockchain and crypto in South Florida. I can't make this up given with where it is this live stream started, which was me telling you that I went to go see Everybody Is Lying to You for Money last night. I'm committed to making South Florida a global leader in the blockchain and cryptocurrency revolution. We can break down the barriers of traditional banking and provide our community with low cost ways to save, invest, and send money abroad. Yeah, we've already done that in America. It's called a credit union. Affordable housing and insurance reform. We will build affordable housing so teachers, nurses, veterans, and working families can afford to live in the communities they serve and stop gentrification. I feel like I should take notes because given the current administration and the fact that you're in Florida, how are you going to stop gentrification? That's an equity and inclusion issue. So under this administration, that could be illegal. Open my goddamn notebook on a Saturday. I ain't even got my glasses on. Job creation and port expansion. Expanding our ports will create thousands of jobs in shipping, logistics, transportation, and international trade while strengthening South Florida's economy. Ports should create jobs for the people who live around them. I will work to protect Medicare and Medicaid while expanding services and housing support for seniors and veterans. Our seniors and veterans deserve dignity and security. That's seniors and veterans assistance. He says nothing about affordable care. Small business loans and federal investment. Small businesses are the backbone of our communities. I will push for federal small business grants and loans, expand access to capital for minority entrepreneurs, and support programs that help local businesses grow and hire locally. I'm pretty sure he changed the language there from yesterday because that was one of the things where I was like, in this economy, under this administration, under the current policies and funding structures, house way. So then he gets down into more detail affordable housing and insurance reform. This website is this page, actually, the website is fine. This page can be a little bit janky on loading. Federal investment in affordable housing. Fight for federal funding to build and preserve affordable housing, prioritizing teachers, nurses, first responders, and working families. Okay, so that's everybody, because there's nobody who's not a working family. So you're prioritizing affordable housing for everybody. Just say that. But when you say things like I'm prioritizing teachers, nurses, and first responders, what you're doing is those are that's messaging for labor and labor related endorsements. Hold insurance companies accountable, protect against gentrification, advocate for anti-displacement policies that keep longtime residents in Fort Lauderdale and other areas. Emergency housing relief. Yeah, I feel like this has changed. Job creation and port expansion, Port Everglades expansion and investment, local hiring requirements. That's good. You can have a local hiring. I would be surprised if they don't already have that in Florida, but whatever. Corporate partnership programs. Yeah, okay. Here's the problem. Build public-private partnerships that bring major companies and employers into Broward County with job creation commitments tied to federal incentives. Federal incentives for what? Federal incentives for building a business or federal investments for the workforce? Because all of that money is currently being clawed back. And that's a budget that the next administration will inherit by the time we get there. So it sounds good, but the feasibility of this platform is what is questionable. And that goes for any candidate. But we're talking about Uncle Luke because we literally just had a conversation about the devastating effects of people like Killer Mike and others on elections and the Supreme Court. So, what do you mean by blockchain and crypto? Mining facilities? That doesn't mix with affordable housing. Right. And crypto is not insured in any way. That's what banks are for. Are banks perfect? No. Crypto is a Ponzi scheme, period. And one of the most irresponsible things that you could guide people to invest in, or your municipalities to invest in. But we'll come back to that because that's further down the list. Um, Small business loans and investment. Small businesses are the backbone of the district, but the access to capital has never been equal. Minority-owned businesses face systemic barriers to loans, grants, and federal contracts that large corporations take for granted. That changes. How's that going to change? How is electing you going to change that? It doesn't change because you get elected. This is what I want to be clear for people. It doesn't change because he gets elected. It changes when policy is passed and when things are codified into law and when funding is actually made available. And since the current administration does not believe in that at all and has clawed all that back, and again, the next administration will inherit that for at least a period of time, House way. Sounds good. Seems reasonable. What are the existing mechanisms you are going to use to actually make it a reality? Youth opportunity, technical education. Yeah, good luck on that. Seniors and veterans. Prescription drug cost reform. Fight back against pharmaceutical companies that price gouge the seniors of our district who need medicine the most. Secure federal funding for senior housing programs that allow elders in our communities to age with dignity and without financial fear. Fight for expanded VA services, mental health support, and housing assistance for veterans in Fort Lauderdale. So he will fight for the things, but he knows for damn sure he can't guarantee that. Oppose any cuts to Medicare and Medicaid. Okay, so he's telling you how he will vote. He's making a commitment of how he will and will not vote. I know I'm a little choppy. Hopefully you can hear me okay, even if the video is a little fuzzy. It's because I'm running this website right now through the live. Is audio good? It's very boilerplate. And again, he's on the curve of being celebrity. Thank you. Okay. Now let's get down to some of the most problematic, because this is just, as far as I'm concerned, a dereliction of duty of an elected to tell people that crypto and blockchain means some kind of financial freedom for regular people, because it does not. That to me is malfeasance. But here it is. In Congressional District 20, we are not waiting on the future, we're building it. Kiki, to your point, we're building it. Crypto and blockchain mean jobs, financial access, and real opportunity for our communities. From Fort Lauderdale to Fort Lauderhill, Florida 20 can lead the next wave. Clear rules for innovation, a federal framework giving builders and investors the certainty they need to create jobs across the district without crushing innovation before it starts. What the fuck does that mean? A federal framework giving builders and investors the certainty they need to create jobs across Florida 20 without crushing innovation before it starts. Because a framework is not regulation. Rules are not regulation either. The word regulation is not there. Let's come up with a framework giving builders and investors the certainty they need to create jobs without crushing innovation before it starts. It does sound like deregulation. This is a kind of standard boilerplate crypto talking point. It's just rhetoric. Yeah, because we don't crush innovation, right? Innovation is good. And one of the things that crypto relies on heavily is FOMO. It relies on that. It's a cornerstone of the Ponzi scheme is FOMO and innovation and the cutting edge and getting ahead, right? And if you don't invest in it, if you don't participate in it, you're not smart, you're not innovative, you're not ahead of the curve, you're not on the cutting edge. You're not part of the group of people who are pushing innovation forward. It's horse caca. Kiki says, FOMO is what got my mom and grandma scammed. The group that scammed them laundered 100 million in crypto, mostly from Southeast Asian communities. Hmm. Yes, it's a Ponzi scheme. The people pushing cryptocurrency are using manipulation tactics to get others' money, basically. Yes, they are. And I feel extremely confident that uh, the majority of people who endorse cryptocurrency and help spread messaging like this, have absolutely no idea what it is. They don't know how it works. They can't answer some of the most basic and fundamental questions about how and why it is problematic. They don't want to talk about um, the ratio of crypto, of what in crypto is real money, and then what above that is actually just a bubble of wager. So anybody who gets into crypto is in the bubble of wager. The real money folks have already reaped it all. So within crypto, there's 10 to 15% of it is real money, and the rest of it is just a bubble of speculation, hopes and dreams, thoughts and prayers. And that's where regular people exist. And so when the bubble pops, they lose all their money. That's good that they at least had a ratio that they protected themselves. They run on emotion and they also run on naivete and ignorance. And uh, there's a reason why men are targeted the most. That's a whole nother conversation. Blockchain payment systems cut fees that drain money from working families, especially in underbanked communities across Broward County. So this is Luther's crypto platform. The first one is clear rules for innovation. We just talked about that one. The second one is lower cost payments for families. And this is another problem that people, regular people have with crypto and blockchain is they can't get their money out of it once they put their money into it because there's a bunch of, hidden fine print and qualifiers that basically makes all of their money inaccessible. But again, he's not focusing on regulation and actually accessing it. He's talking about the theory of lowering costs, transactional fees and withdrawals and transfers and all of that. Hmm. Hello, beautiful. Appreciate you. Y'all, we've got a little over half hour left for the goal in the chat. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. 10 super chats at the $20 level. I'm trying to help you out. It's a preventative measure. Okay, sorry. I got distracted. Okay, so lower cost payments for families, transparency in government. Use blockchain to make government spending visible and accountable to the people of Florida who fund it. No more backroom deals. Now you're just playing in motherfuckers' faces. I don't like it when people take something and and present it as if it is the opposite of what it is, as if blockchain is actual real transparency. Underbanked in this context means communities that don't have banks in them. That's literally not how blockchain works. Blockchain is not a transparency tool. Period. That's not how it works. That's not what it does. Just because you can see that a transaction has occurred and that Bitcoin is moving, you don't know anything about that Bitcoin. You don't necessarily know where it came from. You don't necessarily know where it's going. It takes a massive volume of time and data to actually do that kind of work on the blockchain forensically. That's absurd. And it's messaging that preys on people's ignorance. It is the exact opposite of transparent, and it cannot be adjusted to be transparent. Then it will just collapse because people won't use it anymore. It's explicitly why they do. That's the whole point. This is playing in people's faces. So, smart regulation. Oh, regulation. Smart regulation. Protect consumers without killing growth. Regulate to prevent harm, not to protect incumbents and big banks from competition. I'm going to read it again. Smart regulation. Protect consumers without killing growth. Regulate to prevent harm, not to protect incumbents and big banks from competition. Protect consumers without killing growth. Growth of what? Regulate to prevent harm. Define harm. Not to protect incumbents. Define incumbents. And big banks from competition. Bitcoin isn't a competitor of banks. Bitcoin is also not a stable currency. And that's why it's not a competitor of banks, because it's completely volatile. So this is not true. And this is another word salad. Protect consumers without killing growth. Regulate to prevent harm, not to protect incumbents and big banks from competition. What does that even mean? So, what's the proposed regulation? Who is backing him financially? Yes, and banks that have tried to incorporate Bitcoin have collapsed. And then you know what happened? They received a government bailout. So you've already paid for banks to integrate with Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and then totally collapse because it's so volatile. And again, a Ponzi scheme where the majority of it is, magical thinking. And then a very small percentage of it is actual money. So where are you going to go on this? Are you going to flip on this and say that banks should integrate with crypto without crypto being properly regulated first? Because the banks will collapse and then the government will bail them out using the people's money. That's just what happens. It occurs to me how much of politics and scams are just empty rhetoric masquerading as something familiar and trustworthy, but not actually saying anything. Right. And we started off with somebody in the chat saying, "Oh, this is the guy. This is not the guy. If this is the kind of financial platform that he has for the future of Florida's 20th congressional delegate as a municipality, the businesses in it, and the people who live there. This is asinine. So I'm probably not going to get that interview. I'll send in questions, see if I get a response. But this is absurd. Absolutely stupid. So you've heard his platform. Now, that's it. I didn't hide anything. I went through everything. That's his platform. If he is running to represent you in Congress, are you voting for him? Yes or no? This is exactly what I said, Kiki. He needs a stress test because that is absurd and irresponsible. If he were your representative in your backyard, would you vote for him based on this platform? It very much is like a digital town hall. And I would argue, um, I think we take good care of everybody that comes on to conversations for the culture, whether I agree with them on their takes on something or not. So I hope that he considers it. I'm going to ask more than once. I'll send written questions. Maybe I'll get written responses that I'll be able to share with you all. But this is exactly why. And I didn't look at his whole platform. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I only got down to the part about minority jobs and this, that, and the other, and kind of pie in the sky boilerplate guarantees of what he's going to do. And I'm like, yeah, rhetorically, I have 1,000 questions because this is light work. Not voting for him. Not voting for him. His plans are too vague. No. Nope. I used to live in his district before moving to Tennessee. Well, there you go. And it'll be interesting. I'm sure there will be, candidates forums and, debates and things like that. But yes, he is. Yes, this is correct as well. He has contradictory agendas that I don't think he realizes are contradictory. Exactly correct. Yes. No, blockchain is one of my 100% deal breakers. It tells me too much about what's going on behind the scenes. I would not vote for him off of the hyperfixation on faulty fiscal assumptions. His platform smells like this is also a very fair question. His platform smells like he's got money in crypto and doesn't want to lose his shirt. This is a very fair question for a candidate of what does their personal investment portfolio look like? Any Blackwater in there? Any crypto? Crypto is a red flag. So, yeah, my initial reaction, the further I went through the agenda is, and again, this is his political platform. I have to believe you as a candidate, and I have to believe you on the issues. I have to believe your positions. Um, and that goes beyond being convinced of your conviction that you're the right person for the job. That's not good enough. And this does not convince me that you know policy, and you're going to need to know that. There's a lot of learning on the job, and obviously you can't know all policy, but you need to be able to have your platform reflect the current state of policy, um, with regard to the things that you highlight in your platform. It's presenting problem solution in a much more contextualized way. And there's no connection there. Like, I had to check a couple times to make sure that I was right, that he's running for Congress, because a lot of it sounds, and I say this a lot here, all politics is local, and it is. And so it's great. You wanna have you wanna have your messaging speak locally, but we're in an age and a time, especially in a place like Florida, which is so, um, s holds a prominent position, um, on the national stage when it comes to politics and policy. Um, you have to have some percentage of reflection of that you can there's nothing in this that really speaks to the times right now, right? And there's also nothing in here that could be conceived as or perceived as, excuse me, um, risky, right? We don't know how he feels about gay marriage. We don't know how he feels about reproductive rights. We don't know how he feels about immigration. That's something that would be really important for Florida and again the rest of the country. We don't know how he feels about Iran. We don't know how he feels about Israel. He's not doing that. He is trying to get elected. So there's just a lot of things that are not on here. They're not here. So, but somebody is saying or suggesting or having messaging that suggests that their election is going to miraculously, make something happen in DC is a farce. And I think particularly for the Democrats, Democrats need to be asking much harder and much more pointed questions of their candidates and getting commitments from them. Like, "You will caucus with the Dems." Yes, always. Yes. "You will always be present to vote." Yes. "You will not abstain." Yes. "You will be present." Yes. Like, just things that seem really little, but are really, really significant. And the fact that there's no smoke on here. This is a campaign on literally light manipulative messaging and vibes of a celebrity, and that's not good enough. How does he feel about expanding the court, imposing term limits? These are the things that are happening right now. And when you don't just go ahead and put it out there, again, people will come up with a story on their own. What are you hiding? What are you hiding? What are you really going to do when you get elected? Because this is definitely a just let me get in there campaign platform. And I get concerned about just let me get in theirs. Because what are you going to do when you get in there? You didn't even talk about First Amendment protections. Didn't even talk about the RAP Act. Like, there's no position on anything, really. It's very generic. And yes, this could yes, this could be for, um, this could be a platform for a member of the House. This could be a platform for a member of the Senate. Yes. He's got a bunch of easy layups. He's got a bunch of easy layups where he's in the pocket and has lived expertise that others do not. But first of all, raise your hand if you knew that Uncle Luke has been running for Congress, or if this is you finding out. I'm not going to assume that because I didn't know, nobody knew, but I didn't know, and I'm concerned. Thank you. So they've got, um, let me look real quick here. When is their primary is August 18th. Demetrius, this is a great exercise in how to get a lot of info just from a politician's site. Thank you for this. You're welcome. Tons of elections this year, and tomorrow is my research day. Yeah. Hello, beautiful. Thank you. Found out from the Discord. This is me finding out. Found out in the cord. Did not know. Heard about it. Thought it was a joke. Found out about it in the Discord. He is running for a seat in the House of U.S. Representatives. Yeah. Discord. Found out a couple of weeks ago from another YouTube channel. Found out from this live. Well, all right. Well, all right. Didn't know. Good to see you, beautiful. So yeah, we will see what happens. Um, I would imagine, I haven't looked up who all is running in, Florida's 20th congressional district, but I look forward to August, and I'm my whole thing is what I think he's trying to do right now is, or what, and when I say he, I mean his campaign, because I assume he has a professional campaign manager and all of that. But what I assume he's trying to do is kind of just get through the primary without a lot of attention and challenge, right? And then there are times that you will see a candidate's website change when they as soon as they get through the primary. They'll beef it up a little bit, you know? But there will be candidate forums on the way to this primary that those aren't usually, well, on the West Coast, they don't usually call those debates, those are just forums. There will probably be organizations and community groups that do candidate rankings. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of data comes out from there. But I would imagine they're just trying to get through without drawing a huge amount of attention so that the conversation that we're having right now doesn't become overwhelming before he can get a foothold. And the foothold is, hopefully for him, the primary. That's just my thinking, if I'm spitballing. Anybody who has run for Congress has been challenged to run for something in the state. They've had that conversation. This is what they've decided to do. And it's kind of scary because it's a jump and it's a power grab. Saw a retweet a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. We got about 15 minutes left to meet the goal. The goal is 10 orange or $20 super chats. If we don't make it, you will be punished. Not in this life, when you least expect it. I'm keeping a tally. I'm keeping a tally. Thank you very much, beautiful. Appreciate you. All right. Let's move on. Who was surprised by this? Shout out to everybody who's watching. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Who was surprised by this? I do believe that would be the corporation that now owns Versus put this together. Kiki says French Montana versus Rick Ross. Who put this together? Versus did. The Versus was awful. I watched it on Moni's stream. I watched part of it on mute. I didn't want to hear either one of them. I don't like neither one of these biscuit heads. Both of their beards make me uncomfortable. Yeah, I watched part of it on mute just to see what was going on in the chat and with the voting. And my initial reaction was that I was really surprised by it, but maybe in hindsight, maybe I'm not so surprised now. And this is why I was surprised that his vote count was so high. He must have had the entirety of the UAE, like he asked the Saudi royal family or something to get the bot farm going. I don't understand, because they were all over French Montana winning a versus against Belly Button Boy. Rick Ross. I blinked. Sorry. Contributed via Cash App. Thank you, beautiful. But this is to save the chat from Rick Ross's balloons. Bots specially delivered by Mohammed Bonesaw. I was like, he won? This makes sense for Complex, who put a bunch of, racist white nationals on hip hop media, whatever stupid list. Of course they would give it to the colonizer. I was like, he won. Huh. Interesting. Okay. I got it right here, beloved, close to my bosom. Thank you. French Montana. French Montana beat Belly Button Man in the verses. They went like 19 or 20 rounds or something. This is a question. Were there any did anybody pull up on either side, or was it just the two of them the whole time? We got 12 minutes left. The only French song I know is Unforgettable, where he is ironically forgettable. This is interesting because a lot of people were saying that this was the song that like pushed him over the top to win it all. Yeah, they love Complex love a rage bait. They love a rage bait. So I don't see anybody saying that any other folks popped in for the to be a feature performer, and it was just them round after round after round with backtracking. Which leads me to the real focus because, child, I don't give a shit about this, okay? I really don't care. I mean, technically, I don't care about this either, but we're going to talk about it anyway. You got 11 minutes left to hit the goal. Belly Button Man performed a song that has a Drake feature on it, and he said, "Don't play the Drake lyrics" to the DJ. And then he performed the song without the Drake lyrics, and that got everybody, "Ooh, what does it mean? What does it mean?" And then this morning I keep forgetting his name, Rick Ross, took to social media to send some heart eyes in Drake's direction. Let him know he doesn't want to see him lose. I don't know, child, I don't know who that is. Maddie, why are we surprised? These niggas are whores. The chat goal starts at $20 today. But I love you. I love you. I love you. I can't stand him. He makes me so uncomfortable. Everything about him makes me very uncomfortable. But everything about both of them makes me very uncomfortable, but their beards especially, I hate their beards so much. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Rick Ross looks like he scalped somebody's child and put a little baby afro on his face. I hate it so much. I can't believe I just said that, but am I lying? Why you got a baby fro on your face? What? It's just wrong. Yes. French Montana, DJ Khaled and Drake are like when you have the same mom and different dads. I'm just saying. Who is surprised by this? He's such a fucking tool. Yeah, both of these men disgust me on several different levels. That visual is disturbing now that you mentioned it, and I can't unsee it. If I got to suffer, we all got to suffer. Thank you, beautiful. Appreciate you, gosh darn it. The mods will have to let me know where we are with the goal. I think we got 6 or 7 minutes left. It is super disturbing. I'm sorry, but what do you want? Look at it. His beard makes me so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. 7 out of 10. Well, I don't know if we're gonna make it. We're at the 1 hour 53-minute mark and it's a 2-hour goal. See, they really do look like some Hulu villains. And I'm sorry, I'm never impressed by men stacking chains around their necks. I think there's something wrong with you. 4 minutes left. It looks like AI bearding. It does. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. Rick Ross looks like he went to Turkey and got a beard implanted on his face. Well, remember, he is the one that gifted Drake the 10 snipe commandments. I did a whole video about it. Layered chains is a signal to me that I'm probably not going to find you interesting. Nothing about you. Nothing. Mm-mm. Other way around. Other way around. I did a bunch of research on that video. Birdman neck. Nasty. I remember. I just don't like to talk about it because it's disgusting. It's just really gross. I think French Montana and his metal shaded plus chest, really weird. Just makes me super duper duper uncomfortable. Creepy, creepy, creepy vibes. Splash Bros is nasty. Just nasty. So anyway, yes, this happened. Blah blah blah. I hate the beards. And then a bunch of people freaked out apparently. Well, I don't know. We'll see. 8 out of 10. I appreciate those who are trying. French Montana? Thought he was bigger than Kendrick? You got 80 seconds to go. Who gonna be the two people to save the chat from future pain and suffering? Who's gonna do it? Maybe nobody. Maybe it's just time for everybody to be punished. It happens. It's okay. Oh, I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna wait. We gonna get around to it. That's what's gonna happen. Just throwing it under. One more, one more. Can you do it? Can you do it? Groovy or Tony, good to see you. I'm closing my eyes. 30 seconds. One to go. That is fascinating. Okay, thank you very much. That means everything, all the reporting out there is wrong, including mine. Thank you. Oh, they're counting down. 20, 15, 10, 5. Ooh! Imma call it good. Imma call it good. You don't think you made it? You don't think you made it? Mm, I think well, let's see. Let's see what we got. That's right. A merciful God. Hold on. Let me look and see. Let's see what we got on the Mother's Day, you know, Cash App. No Venmos. Shout out to Demetrius, Tammy, L, and D2B2. Technically not, but I appreciate the benevolent part of this dictatorship. That's right. You ain't forget. You ain't forget. Frenchie. Given that I hate the French bulldog, I might start calling him that. Thank you very much. So, anyway, as I was saying, before we got, you know, distracted by trying to prevent Rick Ross's titties. You're stupid. Thank you all for the support. Truly, truly appreciate it. Rick Ross said what he said yesterday, which could have been for a lot of reasons, right? It could be just I hate that nigga. Thank you, beautiful. And I don't want to hear his verse while I'm doing this verses. He didn't go into detail. He just said don't play Drake's part, and they didn't play Drake's part. In from what I saw. And then today he tweeted, I think, maybe it was on Instagram. Anyway, he posted something to Drake, the equivalent of I don't want to see you lose. So what I imagine is that when he during the verses said don't play Drake's portion, a bunch of people freaked out, right? We know who they are. And we're like, "Oh, no, 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 no," because there's this whole concerted campaign right now. You wanna talk about a concerted campaign. It's crazy to me how they have the nerve to say that there was some conspiracy to tear Drake down when there's clearly a conspiracy to prop him back up. There's a concerted effort. We can see it plain as day. I'm not the only one who's been talking about it. Moni's talked about it. Curtis King talked about it. DJ and Skip have talked about it, and I'm sure many others have talked about it as well. I think Starsky talked about it. There's a concerted effort to prop him back up. And I think that maybe the middle ground that they found with Belly Button Man was on the conversation of, um, Drake is good for business. If he loses, we all lose. Hence the "I don't wanna see you lose" language. He's talking about that. He's not talking about the battle, he's talking about this broader narrative that people are pushing that Drake is the best thing to happen to rap because they think Drake is the best thing to happen to them as mid to bottom tier rappers. I said what I said. This is hilarious, and Drake's got the ick on him now. He really does. Yeah, they can prop him up all they want, but we're not gonna forget. So, and we don't need to forget. It's history. It's like etched in stone at this point in time. You know? You can't erase what happened. They can try and rewrite later chapters for people who, aren't willing to go back and look, but you can't erase what happened. You're funny. Of course. Of course. Which is all the more reason not to listen to Puddle Man. They just trying to force people to rock with him. Well, and we talk about this all the time, right? I've always said that in politics and in other areas as well, politics is either giving the appearance of doing the thing or doing the thing. But giving the appearance of doing the thing can actually cause the thing to get done. And that's what these folks are on with their little campaign for Puddle Boy. Ice Queen. None of these dudes are producing great music or are even that relevant. Yeah, that's the status quo. Yeah, it doesn't have to be good to make money, right? People will pay for the worst cut heroin, and that's what they traffic in. So, I thought the thing that happened at the Versus, there were a lot of people who were like, "Ooh," and I was like, "That could be for licensing." I don't know why he did that, and I don't really care, and we probably would not have talked about it. It wasn't until he then went and posted, "I don't wanna see you lose," where I was like, "Well, well, well, what have we here?" Because this goes into the conversation that we have already been having, which is that Kendrick did not break Drake, and Drake did this shit to himself, and stop trying to rewrite history just because Drake's prominence is your connection to the fucking bag, and because you like to copy and paste, because you're not an artist. You're a pusher of bad heroin. It's finally happening this weekend. I can't wait to review this auditory litter and forget about this Nutter Butter. Poor Nutter Butters. It is finally happening this weekend. Yes. Yes. I will have a scripted video out at the end of this week. It'll be available for members first. So if you're not a member, you could join at any level and you will have access to my video breaking down why Drake's music sucks at number one on the Billboard charts. Yeah. We've been eating at the K Dot Clips and Keem Fine Dining. I don't want McMusic. Yeah. So that's what I got today. That boy dumb. That boy dumb. That's what I got today. What do you all, if anything, what do y'all want to talk about before we wrap a do and move on for the weekend? Let me know. I'm feeling better today, much better than I was at the beginning of the week. It was excruciating, but yeah, the week, it really, I lost a week basically. I didn't know yesterday was Friday. I did not know yesterday was Friday. So that's the kind of week that I've been having. But I'm proud of myself because I gave myself a lot of grace and decided, I mean, I did have one slight meltdown moment in private, as I do. Um, but more often than not, I held it together and yay me. I dragged Killer Mike here for 45 minutes during a live. So I'm not surprised I saw that. I saw all of that. I saw it on Threads, I saw it on X, I saw it on TikTok for damn sure, and I added my voice to it. I changed the title of the video, but it's called Killer Mike Killed the Voting Rights Act. It was called Dear Killer Mike, Shut Up. But I changed the title to the live. So if you missed it, you can you can I also put out because I wrote an article for the Things Fall Apart Substack, where I could get into his 10-year history of misogynistic red pill nigga bullshit. So I did that as well. I've already contributed what I have to say, and I really wish he would sit down and shut the fuck up. And I think he is a danger to democracy at this point in time. And I think when you string together, and look at his actions over the past 10 years, it looks a lot more like COINTELPRO than it does Black Liberation. And that's the difference between intention and impact. That's what I said in a nutshell. That was our first topic of this live, so we already talked about that. Oh, I love it when this happens, and amen that when you went back, amen that they are like a vendor for real. Yay, we love that. Sadly, I'm not sad about it, man. Fuck him. Yeah, and surprise, ain't nobody surprised. Oh, here's something that I saw in the news this morning where I was like, do I remember this? Or am I having some kind of like fever dream situation? I feel like I remember this. The Daily Mail, which say what you want, okay, but they broke the news about Kristi Noem's husband, which was confirmed reporting. The Daily Mail has a report out based on a book that has been written recently about the royals and scandals and Epstein and this, that, and the other. And they are the authors of this book. An excerpt was published in the Daily Mail, and then it got picked up by others, and now people are, combing through the archives. And I'm trying to figure out, do I actually remember this, or is it just the power of suggestion? Anyway. Sarah Ferguson and Diddy used to sleep together? Sarah Ferguson and one of her daughters would attend Diddy parties. The former Prince Andrew's ex-wife. I just figured that you said "excuse me" with food in your mouth. I could see Diddy doing it. Are you kidding me? I could definitely see Diddy doing it. Diddy was the kind of guy who liked to bed either somebody else's woman or a woman that somebody else had been with. Like it means something. I just don't get it, but okay. All dogs like to pee on trees, I guess. Um, I could see him doing it, but I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I was, like, racking my brain, like, I feel like in my brain, I can see a picture of the 2 of them together back in the day. So that was one random ass thing that came up today and is circulating out there. And yes, exactly. If she all she wants is somebody to Fergie has no skills. She can't even serve tea, according to her, or at least according to depictions of her. She d All she wants is a man to pay for her lifestyle, and she will do anything for that. She will marry whoever, she will sleep with whomever, and that has been a long-standing practice of hers. The more I think about it, the less shocked I am. Exactly, and this is, uh, yes, hilarious in a sad kind of way. Kiki says, "I find it hilarious that the most perverse people are the traditionalists and the conservatives." Yep, 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 yep. So, yeah. No notes on this comment. Ferg the bird. Predators move in flocks. Damn. Damn. That's damn. That's really brutal. That's really brutal. And, back in the day, Sarah Ferguson was considered very attractive. She was vivacious, you know, liked to have fun and so on and so forth. So I could see it at a point. I could definitely see it. And again, when I was reading it, I was thinking I didn't read it in the Daily Mail. I read it somewhere else. But when I was reading it, I was like, something about this feels familiar. And I do feel like somewhere back there, but I could be, that just could be my brain doing what the brain does sometimes. And I could be completely wrong about that. But I was like, wow, okay. I admire a woman that is totally committed to not learning any life skills and puts all their energy into finding someone to take care of them. I have 2 cousins like that. Yeah. Yeah, I know a couple people like that. So, yeah. Yeah. What else is going on out there in the world, chat? What else is happening? Oh, well, let this be a clarifying point for anybody that I am not referring to Fergie. formerly of the Black Eyed Peas. I am referring to Sarah Ferguson, former Duchess of York, I believe, who was married to Prince Andrew. Um, but they spent the most of their divorced lives living together because she has no money, no job, so she's a real interloper. Also, she really wanted him to take her back at some point in time. That clearly didn't happen. So the reporting is that she has um she's off in the UAE, which I wonder if she's still there while the war is going on. Because there are plenty of people there who are just enamored by her proximity to royalty, and that's enough. That's enough for them to have her around and to pay for this, that, and the other. And what? Hold on. Fuck. Okay, sorry. Thank you. Do you want me to cry? You want me to cry? Is that what you want? Alex asks, any reaction to the Politico space? Any reaction in the Politico space to Virginia State Supreme Court ruling? Yeah, there's a lot of reaction in the Politico space, babe. People threw things at the walls. People cried. People cussed. People threw things. I shut down. That was my reaction. My reaction was to close things and walk away. As soon as I saw the news, I was just like, I quite literally cannot. I quite literally cannot. And I had to just go think existential thoughts about the purpose of suffering. Yeah. I know. We're not talking about that. I'm tired of talking about Drake. That's all I do is talk about Drake. 'Yeah. Somebody posted it in the Discord and was like, "Ah," and I was like, "I quite literally can we talk about the plague? There's a plague boat out there in the ocean. We wanna talk about that? Let's talk about the aliens. Let's talk about anything other than the federal government." Yeah. And I'm not gonna get into it now because I just can't unless we wanna talk about the plague boat or the aliens. I really can't talk about redistricting today. I can't. Not Mother's Day weekend. That don't seem right. My meltdown was Thursday. Yeah, my meltdown was Thursday at approximately 9:05 PM. At the very end of the day, and I was mad. I was so mad because I had made it all day. I'd made it all week, frankly. But I had made it all day on Thursday without just being like just reaching my breaking point. And then I reached my breaking point, and I had a moment, and then it passed, and then I moved on. Well, it's not a new virus, but it is a new outbreak. The only thing that I will say about this is that this is why we need a functioning government and CDC. So for those people who are freaking out on the right about, oh my God, disease, yeah, you fuckface, disease. That's what a CDC is for. I saw a lot of skits on social media of people saying that boat needs to stay out there in the water. And honestly, fuck you. Honestly, fuck you. Making skits about, and I'm concerned and I'm so sorry for the people that have died. That boat needs to stay out there. I'm disgusted by things like that. Because really what you're doing, even though it may come across as funny or lighthearted or just jokes, or you're stoking people's fears and you're passively spreading disinformation. And the one thing that I have seen is the World Health Organization and health ministers from other countries, because certainly America is MIA on this issue, working overdrive to get accurate information out to the public about the hantavirus because they're fighting against fucking social media idiots who want to make shit funny when people are dying. So that's really the only thing that I have to say about that is how fucking dare you? Those people deserve help. They deserve help and they deserve not to die. That's my thought. I'm the same. I'm not doing this kind of rhetorical question is honestly unserious. Right, this is my choice. I don't go on cruise ships. And I saw plenty of people who said, "Don't they know?" and da 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 da. People don't intentionally endanger their lives. They don't do that. They don't go on a cruise to intentionally endanger their lives. They have a lack of information that therefore makes them feel comfortable with going on a cruise. But if you have more information, you don't step foot on that motherfucking boat. And I've definitely seen, and you're not saying this, I'm saying I've seen this elsewhere. I've seen people on social media saying that's what they get for getting on a cruise ship. Again, how fucking dare you? Nobody expects to die on a cruise ship. They expect to go on vacation. Well, well, shut the fuck up. Actually, nothing you are saying is contributing constructively to this issue, to this conversation, to establishing what long term solutions are for the critical problems we face right now in disease prevention in this country and around the world. Because this country has been the leader in eroding science, research, and preventative medicine. Oh, but Donald Trump is getting ready to is getting ready to fire the head of the FDA for not making candy, for not approving candy vapes fast enough. The thing your state has probably outlawed, flavored vapes, flavored tobacco, flavored this, that, and the other. Get ready for the FDA to say those things are perfectly fine. That's what the Food and Drug Administration is getting ready to tell people because Donald Trump told them to. That was the World Health Organization, not the CDC, I believe. You are just hush. Think of the children, not you. Yeah, I've never wanted to go on a cruise. I've got some family members who are cruisers. You couldn't no, you couldn't pay me to do it. You couldn't pay me to do it. And if there was ever a doubt in my mind, which there never was, COVID definitely convinced me that you could not convince me to go on a cruise. And watching this ship, be denied entry and World Health having to scramble to figure out how to treat people and evacuate people and all of that, like that is why I'm not getting on a boat. Because if a big incident happens, you are in a gray zone of no rights and no recourse, and I can't get down like that. No. Sorry. I can't get down like that. That one, this one, you hear about the rate of intimate assaults on I mean, there's just if it's not one thing, it's another. I'm good. I would just rather not and say we didn't, and then everybody move on from there, and it'll be okay. But, yeah, no, I can't do it. Yeah. I mean, I've done boat tours, but a cruise ship locked with a bunch of people and no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I don't find that enjoyable. Also, in the back of my mind, kind of as a baseline, no for me on cruise ships is the destruction that cruise ships cause to the environment. So that's a baseline. I'm already uninterested in helping to fund that. Water is life. So, mm-mm, mm-mm. Yeah, no, no. Yeah, so that's always like a default. I feel like I'm participating in something really bad, and I don't wanna do that. I got nothing. I got nothing. This turned depressing. What's something else we can talk about before we go? Because I got nothing on that. That's just god damn it. Fuck. I I'm going to have a Mother's Day tea tomorrow with a good friend of mine. So if you want to buy me a cuppa or a croissant, feel free to hit up the Cash App. Appreciate you. Aliens was the better choice. Oh my God, Aliens was the better choice. Yes. The Pentagon has released a bunch of slop on aliens, UAPs, UFOs, whatever the fuck you want to call them. The website that they have everything on looks like they spent more time on that than they did initially on the Jeffrey Epstein website. I'm just saying. Um, it looks very unserious, but they've dumped a bunch of files, and so far nobody is impressed. Yeah. Wow, that's rude. Thank you for correcting me. That is right. That is right. They did not release anything having to do with aliens. They released stuff having to do with UFOs and UAPs and whatever else they're calling it. Which is a bunch of blurry dots or obviously very fake photos or redacted documents that you can't, you know, glean anything from. So I didn't even waste 60 seconds of my time on that data dump. I didn't waste 60 seconds of my time. I don't want to read it. I don't want to go through shit. And I don't really want to read any reporting on it either. I do not care. It is unimportant. Yeah, it was great. It was great. Yet nobody cares what they're talking about today. Nobody cares what ufologists are talking about today. But bless their hearts. It's a bunch of gobbledygook. Gobbledygook. Yes. I don't want anything to do with it. Hey, 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 hey. Rocky deserves some respect. So I was like, whatever. Nobody cares. Nobody cares right now. I'm really well, no, we're not going to talk about that because that's a negative thing. Never mind. I was about to say, I'm really concerned about nope, 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 never mind, never mind, never mind. Oh, Stitch is definitely cool. Yeah, this is a good conversation. Who's your favorite pop culture alien? This is a good one. I'm gonna have to think about that. Are you guys gonna be upset with me if I say the xenomorph? Because I'm pretty sure that the xenomorph is my favorite alien. I think the aliens from Cocoon might be my second favorite aliens. Mork is up there. Mork is top 5. Stitch is also top 5 for me. Pleaky? Pleakley? Remind me, I'm drawing a blank. I thought about Alf. He's not in my I don't think he's in my top 5, but he's up there. Alf is a classic. Alf is a classic. Yeah, I think the Xenomorph is my favorite. I wonder if the thing in the abyss is an alien. Well, yeah, I guess they are. That's up there. Oh, now I know who you're talking about. Okay, yes, top tier. Top tier, yes. Ooh, Prometheus genuinely scared me. The Prometheus was so unsettling. I mean, the Prometheus, let alone the movie, but yes, very unsettling. Has anybody finished watching we're just chatting shit now for a couple minutes before I bounce out of here. Anybody finished watching Daredevil season 2? Bumblebee is also a great choice. Marvin the Martian is fucking peak. Marvin the Martian is I'm gonna have 10 in my top 5. Marvin the Martian is definitely up there. Definitely up there. Good catch. No Disney Plus for you, huh? Well, I finished Daredevil season 2. I thought it was great. I thought it was great, 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 great. And I was pleasantly surprised because I was super, super, super skeptical. Daredevil can get bogged down in its own exposition. And it did not do that for season 2. And the cast has I thought they did a much better job this season, maybe out of any season, including the original, of utilizing the cast, the full cast. And that made for better storytelling. Something that somebody said or did in episode 2 mattered in episode 7, in episode 8. And you would get kinda chills when you had that recall. So I thought they did a really good job. The finale, clearly some changes were made after the fact. Not gonna get into spoilers, but if you do watch it and once you have watched the episode, New Rockstars has a really great breakdown, of the final episode where where they give their take on what they think happened with the structure and editing of the episode, which on first glance, when you first watch it, and maybe even second watch, you won't necessarily notice. I didn't notice till I was watching New Rockstars break down some things, and I went, "Oh, okay, interesting." So I got through that. This is probably gonna shock a lot of people because it definitely shocked the shit out of me, okay? I was so amped at the end of Daredevil. I was like, "Man, that was so good. Oh, I really love television like this." what else can I watch that I haven't seen before that is gonna give me the same kind of ooh, ah, ooh, reaction to it? I started watching The Boys. After avoiding it, no pun, like the plague. After avoiding it like the plague for years, I started watching it. If you know, you know, I did not get past homie running through homegirl in the episode. I was like, "No." Immediately. There was as soon as I realized what happened, I was like, "Well, that's it for me. I'm done." Um, I tried to dip back into it, and then the next thing I saw was a head explode, and I was like, "See, this is what I get for thinking I could no, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done." So I've been taking the cheat code through. I took the cheat code through the first couple of seasons so that I could basically just get caught up to the most current season and watch that. And I've always peripherally had an idea of what is going on. I've never avoided it in that way. I just was like, I'm not watching this. So I've always had a general idea of what's going on, who the characters are that are involved, the meta-ness of some of the characters and, MAGA. I've been aware of all of that. Um, but nevertheless, I didn't watch it. Now having watched a lot of it and now being in this season, I'm like, "Oh, this show's pretty damn smart." It's really smart. I feel like it should have won some awards for that writing. The storytelling and character arcs are incredible. They really are. Fantastical, yes, but incredible. I'm scared. Okay, go for it. I'm just chatting shit, so we can hopefully I don't regret this. We can end on your question. What's up? I don't need you to explain it to me, but thanks. Yeah, I think enhancements only enhance who you are. So the cutthroat nature and power playing and positioning that's constantly happening within that series, I think is much more realistic and true to life. I would agree with that. Your comment got deleted. Hold on. I might freeze for a second. You might have used a word that can't be used. So that's so dumb. You're asking me? I Luther is my answer. Kiki's question was I asked Big Luther or Lil Luther? Luther is my answer. Yeah, Luther is my answer. I mean, the reality is that his weight was one of the only indicators of much more, serious health problems. So I think when people say like, I like Big Luther, I'm like, the voice is the same, so it doesn't really matter. And I know for some people it's like jokey joke kind of thing. It's hard for me to always just be pure jokey joke. I'm always thinking about the thing behind the thing. And inevitably that's something that I think about when people start the Big Luther, Little Luther. I just think, how about Luther alive? That would have been nice. Yeah, because the voice is the voice. Both of them. Both of them. Yeah, just Luther. Just Luther for me. Other than that, the other thing I'm looking forward to Spider-Man, and I'm really looking forward to the Odyssey. I almost cried last night in the movie theater, when we went and saw the documentary. One of the trailers beforehand was the Odyssey, and coincidentally, I had spent, no bullshit, like 3 hours yesterday. Um, I used to have the full collection of Homer's written works, but it was a large, multi-book, multi-volume collection of hardback books, and it just, 3 kids and blah, blah, it just got too much to took up too much space, one thing after another. But anyway, um, but I haven't thought about Homer or the Iliad or any of that shit for, a long time. A long, 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 long time. Um, but Greek mythology, that my introduction to Greek mythology was through my dad. I still have a couple of his books from his personal library. A couple of them were on Greek mythology, and I spent about 3 hours last night just, like, going down the rabbit hole of the Odyssey and reminding myself of, all the intricacies and details, watched the new trailer several times. That's another great, breakdown that New Rockstars has. They're just getting free promo from me today, but, it is what it is. And then, yeah, last night, we were sitting in the theater going through the trailers, and the Odyssey came up, and there was a moment where I had to just, like, pull myself together because I really wish my dad could have been able to see the Odyssey by Christopher Nolan in movie theaters. Um, because I know from the trailer and from knowing not just the story from the Odyssey, but, the other works as well, that it's probably gonna be the best depiction of Homer's work ever, and sorry, not sorry, I think this is probably going to be the best movie ever made in the history of cinema. That's how I feel. So, I'm very excited for it. I can't freaking wait to see it. Aw. I haven't been able to get into those. I just haven't been able to do it. Yeah, it's just not doing it. Yeah, it can be hard. Hey, stop trying to hijack the conversation, okay? Please, thank you. Stay on topic. They can all kind of blend together. They can all kind of blend together, but yeah, he was alive for until, semi recently. Yeah, I'm not one of those people. I mean, there are some things that came out where there was like this fervor to just like superhero content, superhero content. I'm not interested in all superhero content, and you just don't engage with the parts of it, excuse me, with the parts of it that you don't like. It's that easy. It's really that easy. But people are going to see Mando, The Mandalorian and Grogu. That's in theaters. Martin Scorsese is in that movie. I almost fell out of my chair when I saw that detail. I said, well, well, well. Somebody's grandchildren told him he don't know what the fuck he talking about with these movies because he's in the movie. I couldn't believe that shit. Martin Scorsese is in the movie. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Because that wasn't all that long ago. Yeah, it was the same. It was the same. And I just moved on. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing Supergirl because I just want to see like what do they do with it, you know? Feel like she's been a sorely underdeveloped and really kind of just cookie cutter boring, you know? So like, yeah, mix it up. Mix it up. Yeah. Yeah. I will never tire. I just pick what I know that I really want to see and then I ignore the rest. So I don't, you know, there have definitely been, we definitely have said on this channel like boo, tomato, tomato, we don't want it. Who asked for this? We didn't ask for it. They don't give a shit. They're just going to keep churning out whatever to make money. And they got a course correction, which is that we don't want all of it. We want some of it, and the portion that we want better be really fucking good. And so I think I think the pendulum is swinging back towards that. I think Spider-Man is a gateway for something else entirely. I think that there is a subplot within Spider-Man that we can't even begin to imagine what it actually is, but it's gonna come to pass in that movie, and that's really why I wanna see it. Also, just finishing Daredevil, I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but there's a there's a moment in the, Spider-Man trailer, the most recent one. It's like 5 seconds into the trailer, and I was like, "I just feel like this is tied to Daredevil in some way." I do. I would not be surprised if we saw Daredevil in the Spider-Man movie. I also wouldn't be surprised if we saw an actual Miles Morales in the next Spider-Man movie. Would not surprise me. Something is going to happen that hasn't even been hinted at yet. To me, I know a lot of people are focused on Man Spider, um, which is a propulsion for that character. But what Marvel is doing now is through its movies is taking opportunities in its movies to push the full universe's narrative forward. And so the next Spider-Man movie is going to do that. And that's why I want to see it. And this is what I'm talking about. Frank is in both. And if you have finished the most recent, don't put spoilers in the chat. That's rude. If you have finished the most recent season of Daredevil, then you know the situation that Daredevil is in at the end of season 8. And when I look at the trailer and I see Frank Cancel and Spider-Man together, I'm like, if they're not going to get old boy, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. But I never would have thought that if I hadn't watched Daredevil. I obviously would not have had that frame of reference in my mind of where he is. And I know that they're there because keys to cities in the trailer and all of that. I was just like, nah. No, 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 no. I want to know does that, and I know these things. I know that you know these events in various movies are not necessarily happening sequentially. So that will be something else that I'm trying to figure out is like when we pop back into what's happening with Spider-Man, where is it time-wise in relationship to what just happened with Daredevil? Because if they have aligned those things, yeah, I'm really happy for Yaya. I heard that Man on Fire was really good. I'm really happy for him because it felt like they tried to make him like the it guy, you know? Um, through a couple movies that he was in a couple years ago, and it didn't quite land, you know? And then Hollywood was like, "Well, we're not quite sure what to do with him." And now a couple years later, it's like he's got some good meaty roles. Wonder Man was surprising. It was really surprising to me. So, yeah, I'm happy for him. Yeah, you know, I don't really care that much about um I like the experience of the movie. And also, I'll be going to see Spider-Man with my son because we've seen I think every single Spider-Man movie like ever. um with the exception of one together. So, we're gonna see that together, we're gonna watch it together, then we're gonna go somewhere together, and we're gonna debate it together. What did we like? What did we not like? What does this mean for other characters and other stories? And it's a little bit of escapism. But do I think that all of the movies and the storylines and the decisions that are being made by writers and the studios are the best? I don't think that at all. And I would say honestly that the movie that I'm most jaded about, where I'm like, I don't know, fam. I don't really know, is what's the one with Doctor Doom? Doomsday? Look at me fucking it up and then trying to bring it back around again. My favorites. Love them so much. Love them, love them, love them. Um Yeah, this is very true. This is very, very true. And so again, if you have watched season 2 of Daredevil, there are things that happen there that tie into things that have happened in the Spider-Man multiverse movies. So Kingpin is in Daredevil now perfectly positioned within the Daredevil timeline to start doing some of the things that we saw him do in the Miles Morales movies. So those are the kinds of things that I'm like watching and tracking. I'm very excited about Spider Punk. My favorite. Love him. Yeah. Yeah, there are and there aren't. And I think that these are the things they've been working on the most. So we'll just see. We'll see where it goes. Doomsday comes out around Christmas. My son keeps asking me, "Are you excited for Doomsday?" I'm like, "I'm not. I am not. Maybe I will get there, but I am not inherently excited for Doomsday." It hasn't first of all, it hasn't given me enough to be excited about. Oh, this is who's going to be in it. And so show me something. Stop acting like you don't have something to show me. I want to see it. I don't want to see a leaked clip from a con. I would put it on my screen in 4K. I want to show me something. And at some point in time, they're going to. You know what's crazy is last night when we were in the car on the way back from the movie, my son was looking up. I think there's a website that is dedicated to tracking the the gaps between um when a trailer drops and when a movie is actually released, because he was trying to gauge like when are they actually going to put this Doomsday trailer wide for all of us to see. And we're 223 days away from the movie, and so we're probably about 200 days away from a trailer. I mean, we're probably about 20 days away from a trailer, which brings us to Spider-Man. So I'm like, maybe the Doomsday trailer will play Spider-Man. Who knows? But other than that, no, I'm not excited for it at all. I agree. I agree. I think this is where they're going to be the most challenged. You know, we don't just want action. We want cohesive, in-depth, nuanced story. And that's why I'm excited for The Odyssey, because that's not an easy story to tell in a really robust way. You really have to, anything that is touched on, Homer's works or Greek philosophy, meaning movies, they've taken just like a sliver because it's so fantastical. Um, I'd put Doomsday in the same category. Yes, I said it. I'd put Doomsday in the same category as Homer's works. And I think it needs to be treated with the same level of care to pull out that intricacy so that, because that's really how you become deeply invested in it. So I don't know what or how they're going to do that, but we're going to find out eventually. If we don't, I'll die under a nuclear winter first. Damn it. Came back to the negative. Well, beautiful people, we've been here for 3 hours and 5 minutes. And it was wonderful to hang out with you. But I got to go on with my day, and you do too. I may see you again this weekend. I may not. I may not. We'll just see how it goes. But I will definitely be seeing you next week. Got some things planned. Birdman hand rub. So looking forward to that. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Wonderful rest of your weekend. Be good and gentle with yourself. Get yourself a treat, because why not? Because I said so, because you deserve, beloved. Yeah, and I will see you all very soon. Peace.